Hello there, my name is Anna Lundberg and I'm the founder of One Step Outside, author of Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5 and host of the Reimagining Success podcast. Now, last week we were talking about the number one thing you'll need to be successful with your content creation, and that was consistency. And consistency, focused, discipline, these are all things that are actually part of the day-to-day reality of running your business and working for yourself. And I think these realities aren't really reflected in maybe the pretty pictures that we see on social media and can get lost when we're incredibly excited about starting or growing that new business. So I want to talk you through 5 of the real day-to-day reality of what it takes to work for yourself and work on your own business. And the first one is you will need to do some things that you don't love. So as much as I'm a big fan and believer in ikigai, in combining work that you love into a business that you're creating, that has a great mission, that makes a difference in the world, that earns you money, that uses your skill set, but fundamentally that you really enjoy, that is definitely the goal. However, there will still be day-to-day work that you do need to do, whether it's admin, accounting, emails, maybe there are some aspects that you just don't enjoy as much as others. And of course, there are some solutions to managing this, but essentially there will always be some things you don't love doing, and that is just something we have to accept. So that's the first reality, doing things that you don't love doing. The second is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. As an employee with a 10, 15 plus year expertise and experience in a particular company or industry, we have a certain prestige and status, and we're pretty comfortable in that comfort zone of knowing what we can do. We basically have arranged our lives and our work to have that steady routine and projects that we know and so on. However, running your own business, the reality is that there will be new things every day. You'll need to put yourself out there, and you will be uncomfortable a lot of the time, if not all the time. Now, trust me, this gets easier, but it is a reality that you will need to get out of your comfort zone much more than perhaps you have been used to before. Now, number 3 is swallowing your ego. Again, that prestige and status of being part of a big company, of having that position, of having that respected expertise. At least when you're starting out in your business, you won't have that to leverage. And so there will be a big part of putting aside that ego, and above all, realizing that to some extent you're starting from scratch. You do need to ask for help when you need it, and to be honest, you may very well face some quite public failures because you're putting yourself out there, you're launching things, you're communicating. You may set yourself up for a bit of criticism from some people who don't agree and so on, and that's just something, again, we need to get used to. Now, the next one is staying motivated. I happen to be incredibly self-motivated, so this one isn't too much of a challenge for me. However, we no longer have a boss, a support group and our peers, training systems, processes, frameworks and so on. And yes, that is a good thing, but it also means we don't have the structure to keep us going in that rhythm, the quarterly reviews, the meetings, the emails and so on. It is just us, at least when we're starting out. And so we're the ones who have to motivate ourselves and also reward ourselves when things go well, and that's incredibly important, however incredibly difficult. So if we don't keep that pace up, if we don't again put that consistent effort in, we're just not going to see the results, and that can be quite exhausting and uncomfortable again. And finally, perhaps the biggest challenge of all, setting boundaries. Again, as fantastic as it sounds to have this freedom and flexibility, work from anywhere, work on any projects, when and where you want and all these things, the reality is that you're going to reach burnout quicker than you think if you blur those boundaries between work and life, between home and office. Yes, we love this work, we love this business that we're setting up, and it's exciting, and yes, we will need to work hard. However, pushing ourselves too much, kidding ourselves that, we don't mind working 24/7 is not going to be particularly effective. So we will need to learn to set those boundaries, physical, at home perhaps, and mentally, and to set boundaries with our clients. And that's also a challenge because at the beginning, again, we're maybe very excited to get that new client and, oh, somebody wants to work with me. However, we need to learn to say no when it's the wrong type of project, and we need to say no to clients that come with very unreasonable requests that are going to put our business or our health into jeopardy. So again, setting boundaries is that final one. So listen to the video again if I went through too quickly there, but those are just 5 of the day-to-day realities of working for yourself. Now, If you've been following me for any length of time, if you're part of my community, you'll know that I do believe that running your own business, working for yourself, is the absolute best way to have that freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment. And the good news is that there are, of course, solutions to all these different challenges, and we can manage those. The even better news, hopefully, is that those are the things that we're going to be focusing on in the coming weeks. So do keep following along in the video, in the Reimagining Success podcast, and on the blog over on onestepoutside.com. And we'll be digging into these different challenges, looking at how you can set up your business to really give you that freedom and flexibility that you so crave, and making sure that you're planning, that you're outsourcing, automating, whatever it takes in order to support you in your business and having that fit into your particular life goals. Now, of course, if you are still in the corporate 9 to 5, if these challenges aren't putting you off, but you would like to find a mentor, someone who is a few years ahead of you to guide you through the process, and then I'd love to have a chat with you. So you can book a call with me at onestepoutside.com/clarity call. onestepoutside.com/clarity call, and we'll get on for a 30-minute call together. We'll talk through where you are today, what you think your goals might be, and how we can begin that transition for you and how I can support you through that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.